What's up, everybody? This is Dr. Zeb, and welcome to the Rehab Christian Center Tuesday night virtual experience. I am so grateful to be here with you tonight. I am so glad to be better. I promised you all Sunday I would just start hollering, "Come on, Zion," when I came on. But I'm going to spare you and save that for my teaching. But so glad to be feeling better and back with you. And hopefully prayerful that all is going well with you and your family and everything concerning you. Listen, I want you to share this video. We're on all of our networks tonight. And I've got a very powerful message that I'm going to teach to you for about 40 minutes tonight. Learn to live through it is what we're teaching. Learn to live through it. And this is going to be an amazing lesson that I'm excited to be able to share with you tonight. And so glad that you've tuned in. And again, just glad to be feeling better, doing better. And so glad that you all have joined in with us on tonight. So start liking the video, sharing the video, regardless of the network that you're on. Let people know that you are tuned in tonight. And let's get this party started and started well. It's going to be a good night. And again, I'm very excited to share this message with you tonight. Learn to live through it is going to be what we're teaching. And I need you to help me get the word out really quickly. We're not going to waste a lot of time. We're going to get right into the teaching tonight and get right out of your way. But again, just so grateful you tuned in tonight. Let's walk through the networks. Again, as I'm walking through the networks, make sure you share this video, like this video, regardless of the network that you're watching on, that you tuned in on. And that way we can go ahead and get started and really dive into this message tonight. Facebook, good evening to you. I was about to say good morning. Good evening to you. It's good to see you virtually. Those of you that are tuned in via Facebook, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome tonight. Do me a favor. Make sure you like this video if you're on Facebook. If you really enjoy this ministry and our broadcast, I want you to hit that like button, hold it down, turn it to a love button. I want you to hit that share button, hit the @ symbol, and tag 5 of your best friends and tell them to tune in on tonight. Would you do that for me? No, it's a lot of instructions. If you have not liked us on Facebook, you can find us on Facebook at the Rehab Christian Center. Just simply go to your search bar, type in the Rehab Christian Center, 4 different words, and you will see our page. And make sure you like our page so you can follow us for all the latest news and announcements and information regarding our ministry and what's going on. All right. So again, good evening to you, Facebook. Those of you that have tuned in on Facebook, once you join in with us, make sure you speak in the chat area. It's rude to come to church and not speak. Say good evening in the chat area, and then I need you to help me get the word out tonight by sharing this broadcast with as many people as you can, and tell them to tune in tonight. And we promise you they're going to be blessed because of that decision tonight. All right. So do that for me and we will appreciate it. Instagram, good evening to you. Those of you that are tuned in via Instagram, thank you so much for sharing with us tonight on Instagram. If you're on Instagram, fill it up with hearts tonight. Let us know that you are tuned in. And then not only that, make sure if you're on Instagram, make sure you say good evening in the chat area. And then Instagram, I want you to hit that @ symbol also. Tag 5 of your friends, followers on Instagram. Tell them to tune in tonight. They're going to be excited and awfully glad that they did. And we certainly would appreciate that on tonight. YouTube, good evening to you. Those of you that are tuned in via YouTube, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. It is great to have you with us. We got several people on YouTube already, and we're so grateful that you've tuned in on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. If you have not subscribed to our channel, you can find us on YouTube at TheREHABCC. Just type in TheREHABCC on YouTube. You can find us there. Make sure you like this channel, subscribe to our channel, hit that bell notification icon so that you, just like me, every time I go live, I get the notification myself. I'm subscribed so that you can get the notification of every time that we're on live. And we don't want you to miss a beat. We don't want you to miss any of the messages that have been shared, that will be shared. And we want to make sure that you're alerted every time we're live and on the line. So welcome. Those of you that are tuned in via YouTube, thank you so much for joining us tonight and help spread the word. All right, y'all, I'm giving you 30 more seconds. I need you to share this video. Tonight, I'm teaching Learn to Live Through It. It's going to be so good. And man, I just really got tickled today thinking about how powerful the teaching has been over the last couple of weeks. I'm just grateful to be here, grateful to be doing better. I wanted to scream out, "Come on, Zion," just a couple of times, like I promised y'all, but I'm going to behave right now. But it's going to get good in a second, and I'm good and rested and ready. And so grateful again that you've tuned in with us, share with us tonight on a very powerful message. Again, learn to live through it is what we're teaching tonight. This is life study. You're going to be so glad that you've tuned in. You're going to be so glad that you've joined in with us tonight. And we know you're going to be blessed through this very critical yet practical life lesson that we're going to share tonight. All right. Learn to live through it is what we're teaching. And make sure you tag 5 people on whatever network that you're on and tell them to tune in because we're going to get started and we're going to do that right now. All right. So do me a favor. I want you to type the comments or type the subject in the comment box. Learn to love, or I'm sorry, learn to live through it. Learn to live through it. Type it in the comments box, the subject, so that we can all see it. I'm going to be in the book of St. Matthew, chapter 8, verse 26 and 27. And I'm in the New American Standard Version, right? The NASB, New American Standard Version. It's a very plain English version for this particular story that I like because it makes it a whole lot easier for everybody to understand, but especially that are babes in your reading. To make sure that you really understand the gravity of this, one of my favorite stories I'm going to share tonight and give you some very practical lessons tonight. This is going to be so good. Learn to live through it. I'm in St. Matthew chapter 8, verse 26 through 27 in the New American Standard Version. And put it in the comments, put it in the chat. Somebody, tell them to tune in. And let's get ready to get into this. All right. So let's read this. I want to read this tonight, and I want to start by reading the verse, and then I want to give you some foundational things, and then I'm going to give you 3 things, and then I'm done. All right. It's going to make sense in a second. All right. Learn how to live through it. All right. Or learn to live through it. Look at this. St. Matthew chapter 8, verse 26. And he said to them, "Why are you afraid, you men of little faith?" Then, let me get all of these windows closed on my screen. Good. Then he got up and rebuked the winds and the sea, and it became perfectly calm. Verse 27. The men were amazed and said, I didn't do that. The men were amazed and said, "What kind of man is this, that even the winds and the sea obey him?" Now, I don't have time to read the whole story like I really want to tonight on a life study. On a Sunday, it would be a little bit easier to give you the whole context. But let me give you the short end version of this story if you've never read it. Jesus is on a boat with some men. They're sailing, leaving one town, disciples rather, and men, and leaving one, heading to another. He's just finished performing miracles. They witness that. He's on the boat. A storm comes, and the men on the boat start panicking. Some of them panicking so much so that they jump off the boat. Others of them panicking and wondering if Jesus is going to help them and rescue them. And then Jesus wakes up in verse 26 and says, "What are you afraid of?" He calls them men of little faith. And then he gets up, he speaks to the wind, he rebukes the wind or tells the wind to stop. The wind stops. And then the men are all amazed that this is going on. Now, that was the very much the Cliff Notes version. Let me start off with this bullet point. Number 1, you ready? You have to grow to stop avoiding life. This is going to be so good. You've got to grow to a place. Record this. You're going to be the smartest person at the water cooler the entire week. Put this in the comments. You have to grow to stop avoiding life. You have to learn to grow to stop avoiding life. It's so important. And this story is a really good reminder of the fact that if you live long enough, and that's my prayer that all of you will, if you live long enough, life is going to happen to you, right? Life is going to happen to you, and some of it you can control, some of it you can't control. All right. Some of the things that happen in our lives, we have control over. Some of the things that happen to us in our lives, we have no control over. Right. So whether you can control it or you can't control it, you've got to grow to stop avoiding life. Because what people tend to think is that when things, especially they get difficult, we tend not to avoid the good stuff, the positive stuff, the great stuff, the promotions, blah, blah, blah. We don't avoid the good stuff. But when the tough things come, many people become runners, track stars, and they do whatever they can to avoid life or to try to stop life from happening. And when you do that, several things happen. But this is the number one thing that happens. And I don't want you to ever forget this. When you avoid what happens to you, you miss what's happening for you. Record that. You're going to be the smartest person all week long. This is getting good already. When you avoid what happens to you, you miss what's happening for you. When you avoid what happens to you, you end up missing what's happening for you. And some of us have missed the larger lesson of what's trying to happen for us because we are literally breaking our necks trying to avoid what is happening to us. If you attempt to avoid what is happening to you, what life is dealing to you, and I'm not just talking about, again, the good stuff, I'm talking about the bad stuff. You try to avoid the demotion, the breakups, the whatever, the pain, whatever. You try to avoid that stuff, you end up missing what life is trying to do. And see, many of you have never been that way. You've only seen hardships as opportunities for you to run. You've only seen the hardships as things that you pray for. God, get out of my way, right? Most people do that. Something hard comes, God, move this out the way. Something difficult happens, God, move this out the way. Something troubling comes our way, God, get this out the way. But what you've never probably done is reviewed what's happened to you as an opportunity of something that's really happening for you. Things rarely happen to you without something greater happening for you. I want to say this again. Things rarely happen to you without something greater eventually happening for you. It's rare when something happens to you, in other words, and as a result of something happening to you, it's rare that something good does not result from something happening to you. So I want to challenge your perspective and your thinking tonight. I got to flip this because, again, when you change your perspective on things happening to you as opportunities rather than circumstances, you realize that when you try to avoid it, you end up missing what life has in store for you. And that's what I really want to pull out of tonight in a major way. When we learn how to live through things, we become recipients rather of what life is trying to hand us. Sometimes life is trying to hand us a lesson. Sometimes life is trying to hand us experience. Sometimes life is trying to hand us a blessing. Sometimes life is trying to hand us a new opportunity, even through a failed opportunity. God will sometimes use a failed opportunity to set the stage for a new opportunity. You don't sometimes get the new job until the old job lays you off, right? It's this whole idea that instead of you going home after the layoff and crying your eyes out and saying, oh my God, God forgot me and I can't believe I lost my job, it's looking at the layoff and saying, maybe this is what had to happen in order for me to experience what's about to happen. Are y'all listening to the old man? You've got to change your perspective and look at life that way, because when you do, then all of a sudden you realize that you're better off not avoiding life. You're better off confronting life. And that's the problem. And that's especially the problem with this generation. I'm going to tell you why this generation doesn't grow much. This generation doesn't grow much. It's hard for this generation to grow, develop, and mature because they fail to realize that things like growth and opportunity are connected to what we are willing to experience. I want to say it again because I want you to record it. Your growth and opportunity are connected to what you are willing to experience. Your growth and opportunity are connected to what you are willing to experience. Your growth and opportunity are connected to what you are willing to experience. Your growth and opportunity, this is good, are connected to what you are willing to experience. If you are not willing to experience anything, you should not expect to experience growth and opportunity. In other words, if you're not willing to go through anything, you should not expect to receive growth and opportunity. And this generation is louder than any other generation. This generation has more access to information than any other generation. This generation has more access to resources than any other generation. This generation has a larger social and personal network than any other generation. But this generation, by far, is the weakest, softest generation that has ever existed. I said what I said. It is the weakest, the softest generation I have ever experienced, I have ever witnessed in my brief lifetime. This generation, unlike our parents' generation, our grandparents' generation, and Lord knows our great great grandparents' generation, can't take nothing. Can't take nothing, don't want to take nothing, can't go through nothing, don't like to repeat nothing. You see, and what we don't even realize is that repetition, it is really repetition that builds strength. It's more than just going through something one time. When you can go through something more than once and deal with things more than once, or deal with challenges more than once, you don't even realize that the same repetition you utilize in lifting weights every day that eventually build muscle is the same repetition that you go through when you, or that you experience rather, when you go through things in your life over and over again. This generation can't take nothing. Can't take nothing. Impatient. Don't like to repeat nothing. Y'all don't even know what a leftover is. Yo folks, or you'll make a whole pot of spaghetti, eat it one time, and throw the rest away. You don't even want to repeat eating the spaghetti a couple times. Like you can't take nothing. You can't repeat nothing. You can't do things over and over. And it shows. It shows through your inability to be able to embrace experience in order to learn and grow. And I want to say this again. Your growth, your opportunity to grow is connected to what you are willing to experience. If you are not willing to experience anything, it is irresponsible for you to expect to grow. And so I'm here to tell you, you've got to get out of this place of where you stop avoiding life and stop avoiding life. Let me say this to you. This thing here, I want to share this with you too, because many people, record this, many people confuse embracing something with accepting it. I'm going to explain this really quickly. And I got to get to my 3 points because I can see now this, I could easily make this 2 parts. This is good to me. I'll say this again. Many people, record this, many people confuse embracing something with accepting it. Just because you embrace something doesn't mean you accept it. Just because I embrace where I am in my life doesn't mean I have to accept where I am in my life. Just because I embrace a storm that I'm going through in my life doesn't mean I have to accept the storm to the standpoint that I'm going to stay where I am. Because you embrace it doesn't mean you like it. Because you embrace it doesn't mean you accept it and you want it. You embrace it because you will learn to deal with what life has given you. Have spent so much time trying to change life instead of trying to just let life happen. When you waste your energy trying to change life, you really fight a battle that is impossible to win. You can't change life. You've got to learn how to live it and let life happen versus trying to force it and make it happen, right? My next book, I have not forgotten. I delayed it because I've really just been so busy up in my neck with work and church and other stuff. I have, but my next book deals with this. Don't make things happen, let things happen. And where we mess up in our lives is we try to force the hand that God has dealt us. We try to force the hand that life has dealt us. And when we get the hand, you want to take your cards and throw it back in. No, I don't want to play with them. No, a good card player Come on, spades players. A good card player, even if they ain't got but the minimum amount of books of 4 books, will sit there and take that raggedy hand and do the best they can to play with what life gave. And meanwhile, this day and time that we live in, this generation that we live in right now, y'all get a hand, you got 4 books, 5, and you pout, you claim somebody dealt you the wrong hand, they cheated when they dealt the cards, they were looking, and you want to throw the hand in. That is because we think that because we embrace our hand, that means we like the hand. Because we embrace the hand. No. When you embrace the hand, listen, I got what I got. I didn't ask for it. Or sometimes it is my fault, because it can go both ways. Sometimes what you have in your hand is a result of something you've done. Sometimes it's a result of what life has dealt you. But learning how to embrace what life is you says, listen, what I got, or I embrace what I got, and I'm going to deal with what I got and make the best out of it. Never confuse embracing your life with accepting your life. I embrace where I am, but it doesn't mean I accept where I am. Paul, the Apostle Paul, speaks of this in the context of a word called contentment, where he says, in whatsoever state I am in, I've learned how to be content. Okay, embrace where I am. It doesn't mean that if you're in a state right now where you got $20 in the bank, that you, and you say, I'm content with that you like having $20 in the bank. Doesn't mean that. It says, I embrace this season right now that I'm in where I don't have a lot of money. I don't have a lot going on for me financially, but I embrace this and I'm going to make the best out of where I am, not accept it, but make the best out of where I am until the tides in my life change. Okay, but you gotta learn how to live through that, and y'all gotta stop being doggone jellyback weak and impatient because life has dealt you something that you didn't want, or life has dealt you something that has made you uncomfortable, or life has dealt you something that has made you feel like you got an unfair shake. It's called life. It happens. Okay. And when you can embrace where you are without accepting where you are, embrace where you are should light a fire under you for you to go after your life and continue to do something about it until it gets better. Is this making sense to anybody tonight? All right. So you got to grow to stop avoiding life. Stop avoiding life. Stop running when life happens. Stop getting to the point where when life happens, you want to go the opposite direction or just throw life away altogether. Can't work that way. If you are ready to quit every time life gets hard, if you're ready to give up every time life gets hard, if you're ready to walk away every time life gets hard, I'm here to tell you, you are not living through life. You are letting life live through you. Are y'all listening to the old man? You ready to quit every time life gets hard? You ready to give up every time a moment gets too big? You are not living through your life. You are letting life live through you. That's what you're doing, right? And so you gotta exercise the type of contentment that Paul teaches, where when life happens to us, we embrace it, we accept where we are, and then we learn how to be powerful where we are until things get better. All right. 3 things happen when you learn to live through it. This is good. I'm going to give you these 3 things and I'm done. 3 things happen when you learn to live through it. What do you mean, Dr. Zeb? It. What's the it? Anything life deals you, anything difficult life deals you, anything troubling life deals you, anything uncomfortable life deals you, anything you didn't ask for that life gives you, anything life gives you that makes you nauseous or sick or makes you want to quit. I'm going to give you 3 things that happen when you learn how to live through those. Right? And it's found in this awesome story, St. Matthew chapter 8, verse 26 through 27. Found in this awesome story. All right. Number 1. All right. The 3 things that happen when you learn to live through it. All right. Number one, you grow to become comfortable in storms. You learn, you grow to become comfortable in storms. I'm gonna give you three things that happen when you learn to live through it. I want you to record this, put in the notes. You're gonna be the smartest people at the water cooler all week long. Number one, you grow to become comfortable in storms. When you learn how to live through life, when you learn how to live through the it's that happen to you, you grow to become comfortable in stormy situations. I was sharing this with somebody. Um, it was a week before last. This is before I got sick. I was sharing with somebody that in many ways I feel like I'm in a weird place. Just bear with me. I ain't gonna testify, tell all my business, but I want to just say this. I feel like I'm in a weird place in this context. I can't explain it. Okay, just hear me out. I can't explain it other than to say that when life gets challenging for me in any regard, doesn't matter what the regard is, personal, professional, business, whatever, career, church, whatever. When life gets challenging for me, for some reason, I become extra motivated to win. I can't explain it. Um, I seem to be more comfortable the higher the challenge is. Um, and sometimes when there is no challenge, I get bored, I get um maybe complacent. Um, I find myself in a position where maybe I'm not as motivated as I could be. When there is no challenge, no discomfort, but when things get sticky or uncomfortable, I can't explain it other than like it turns me on. I'm being I'm being so serious. I'm being super serious. I can't explain. And most people want the storm to stop. Like they want things to get comfortable quickly. But I'm here to tell you, record this. There is great growth in discomfort. There is great growth. There's growth in life, but then there's next level growth in when your life is uncomfortable, right? When your work is uncomfortable, your career is uncomfortable, your relationship, whatever about you concern you is uncomfortable. There is great growth in discomfort. And and when you have experienced enough discomfort in your life, you recognize that over time it becomes easy to get comfortable in uncomfortable situations. You know, there's a part of this story of Jesus is on this boat sleeping. And I really want to just deal with this tonight, y'all, for like 2 hours. Jesus is on this boat sleeping. There's a part of this story I've never preached or taught until right now. Listen to me. I don't know how I missed this. I don't know how I missed it. Jesus is on the boat sleeping. The storm is going crazy. The men on the boat, the disciples on the boat, losing their mind. Storm is going crazy. Jesus is on the boat sleeping. They wake Jesus up. Jesus, Master, don't you care that we're perishing? Don't you care that we're about to perish? Jesus is asleep on the boat. The men are going crazy. Now, this is what I've always preached, and this is what I've heard so many people preach and teach. Well, the disciples should have looked at Jesus sleeping. And if Jesus was sleeping, the disciples should have been sleeping because if the master wasn't worried, you ain't got nothing to worry about. And you preach that and folks shout. And there's great truth to that. There's another angle of that I never caught until I studied for this. You ready for this? You know why Jesus was on the boat sleeping? The reason why Jesus was on the boat sleeping, because up to that point in his life, he had been through enough and seen enough and experienced enough that he became comfortable when things were chaotic around him. Come on, Zion. Are you listening to me? It didn't hit me like, wait a minute, dude, why would he be up? He's seen worse. He's experienced worse. He's seen people go through worse that he healed, that he touched, that he delivered. Of course, he's gonna be asleep on the boat. If you would have experienced what he experienced, you would be asleep too. So we always make the story about the men and why the men were wilding out until I caught this. Like, wait a minute. Jesus, they won't sleep. Jesus will sleep, but I get it. He's seen this before. He was comfortable in the storm because he'd been through enough storms. Let me tell you something. Nothing makes you more comfortable in a storm like repetition. Hmm? Nothing makes you more comfortable in a storm like repetitious storms, meaning you in one storm after another, after another, after another. When you continue to experience storm after storm, challenge after challenge, you grow to become comfortable because you know from storms. You are comfortable in situations because you to expect and not to expect while you're in the storm. Here's the other great thing. Not only do you know what to expect when you're in the storm, the other reason why you're comfortable is because time and life has already proven that you're going to be okay when the storm is over. Okay? So the three things that happen when you learn to live through it. Number one, you grow to become comfortable in storms. I want to challenge all of you to not run from the storms that are coming your way, but run through them so you can learn how to become comfortable in uncomfortable spaces. Yeah, I was uncomfortable when pandemic hit, and a lot of different things happened, ministry wise, personal wise, all kind of wise. I was uncomfortable at first. Now, y'all, even with a little bit of chaos, ain't really chaotic, but with a little bit of chaos, I'm just as comfortable as I can be. I be snoring at night. I think it was Minister Carlos I was telling this a few days ago. I be snoring, man. I don't even be I don't even be up tripping off of nothing. You know, in fact, I've been through worse storms than what I've been through tough storms. You learn how to get comfortable in storms. You learn how to pitch a tent in a storm and you can ride that storm out and actually get some of your best rest when you're in a storm. Right. So that's the first thing that happens. When you learn how to live through stuff and not run through stuff, you learn how to live through stuff and not run from stuff, you grow to become comfortable in storms. Number two, core this. There's a second thing that happens. I'm almost y'all. You grow to be able to adjust to loss. You grow to be able to adjust to loss. You grow to be able to adjust to loss. All right. So number one is the first thing that happens when you learn to live through storms or live through it. You grow to become comfortable in storms. Number two, you grow to be able to adjust to loss. You grow to be able to adjust to loss, whether it's things or people. This is very important. You get used to loss and you learn how to manage it. You get used to loss and you learn how to manage it, right? This is another thing that happens when you learn how to live through things, not avoid things, but learn how to live through things. When you learn how to live through things, you realize that loss comes with living through it. Think about it this way, y'all. Think about it. Do you have all the things you've ever gained in your life right now in 2022? Do you still have a lot of the things you gained in 2010? Probably not. And those things were probably prized and possession and coveted by you when you gained them in 2010. And then you probably lost some things in 2015, 2016, maybe 2020 at the latest. And you lost them, but you grow to understand that in life, some of the things that we gain, we eventually lose. Maybe we outgrow it, we outwear it. Maybe it's taken from us. Maybe we throw it away. Maybe we give it away. Whatever. You learn to be able to adjust to loss because you recognize that life is about gaining and losing. It ain't just about losing, and it's just not about gaining. So whether it's things or people, you get used to loss and you learn to manage it. This is interesting. Jesus is sleeping on the boat, and no doubt he had to have known that some of the men possibly have gotten scared to the point where they may have wanted to throw themselves overboard. They may have lost possessions that were in the boat because the boat was going crazy, and that's okay. He didn't panic because he recognized that when you go through things, sometimes the byproduct is lost. And let me tell y'all something. You ain't ready to gain nothing in your life if you ain't ready to lose something at the same time. I want to say this again. You are not ready to gain anything significant in your life if you're not ready to lose something at the same time. And what's the crazy thing about life is people talk so much about, I want to get this, I want to gain this, I want to win this, I want to have this, I want this to happen for me, blah, 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 blah. And what you don't even realize is the way life works is like this. You can receive great things that come to your life, but rarely do you receive great things without the huge possibility of losing something in the process. It's rare that you can hold on to everything great you've ever gained and still continue to gain great things. Are y'all listening to me? It happens. I call it addition by subtraction. It happens. And so many times, whether it's things or people, you have to get used to loss and you got to learn how to manage that loss. You do, because you're right, Elvin, it's life. It's going to happen. And the minute you can embrace it for what it is the minute that you will continue to possess and gain greater things in your life. You got to quit whining every time you lose something. You got to quit whining every time you lose somebody. You got to stop that, right? I'm not suggesting that things won't hurt. I'm not suggesting that things may not sting you or something like that, catch you off guard. I'm not suggesting that. But even with being caught off guard, you can grow. And I know this from, oh God. I know this from personal experience. You can grow to a place where you have lost so much that even the sting of loss goes away. Am I teaching to anybody? Has anybody ever lost so much that you get to a place where the sting, the shock, the surprise of loss don't even faze you anymore because you've been numbed to what it feels like to lose? I was watching, this is so perfect. Was it Friday? Friday, I was in the bed. And it was Friday early evening. And on Fridays, sometimes it's a good time to watch church clips on YouTube because you'll see a lot of ministries having weekend services, broadcast, stuff like that, conferences, things like that. So I'm on YouTube and I'm watching YouTube and I'm flipping through my recommendations or whatever. And I saw Bishop Bishop Anthony Gilliard, I think he's out of Delaware, was preaching at somebody's convocation. And he said something that really tickled me. And it's so relevant to what I'm saying right now. He was teaching at a convocation, and he said he was talking to preachers. And I don't know if it was a preachers conference, a preachers convention, or something, but the dude was preaching. Gilliard can preach. And, he was talking to preachers and leaders or something. And he was telling leaders, he said, listen, you got to get to a place where you embrace the sting of loss. You got to get to the place where you embrace the sting of loss if you're going to be significant. If you're going to be significant or be anything significant, he said, you got to go through a season where you learn how to embrace the sting of loss. He said, there has to be seasons of your life where you experience so much loss that the sting of loss doesn't even hurt anymore. The dude was teaching. And then he was joking, but he was telling the truth. He's talking about resignations. Like he said, because he had to preach, I was crying laughing in the bed, crying laughing. He said, I get to the point now, he said, I can look at a resignation letter. He said, if I walk in my office and I got 3 letters on my desk, look at it, it's on YouTube. He said, if I got 3 letters on my desk, I can point to the letter and tell you which one is a resignation letter. He said, because I know what it looked like. I know what kind of envelope it And I got so tickled because the dude was telling the truth. He said, I can look at a resignation letter. I know what the envelope letter look like. I know how it was addressed. He said it'll say, Dear Bishop, or something like. He was clowning and people was laughing, but there was a lot of truth to it. And his larger point was, why? Because I've had so many people resign. Because I've had so many people leave. I've had so many people do this. I've had so many things happen to me in ministry. He said, and I went through a season before greatness came where I had to become numb to loss to the point where I was able to manage it. Are y'all listening to me? And until, let me lower my voice. Here in a second. Until you get to a place where you learn how to manage loss, you will never appreciate the season of victory that God has for you. And I want to speak this to those of you that are listening to me right now, that are tuned in, that are feeling what I'm saying. Some of you have been through a season where you have lost so much that you have become numb to it, yet you've learned how to be positive through it. You've learned how to be focused through it. You've learned how to be consistent through it. You've learned how to be never changing through it. You've learned how to continue to press through it. You've learned how to continue to praise through it. You've learned how to continue to pray through it. You've learned how to continue to give through it. You've learned how to continue to exist through it. You've learned how to involve through it. You've learned how to do all of these things, and it has been a consistent season of loss. Got good news for you. You have officially reached a place where you are numb to losing, but you are also at a place where you're getting ready to be blessed because you did not allow the consistent losing to numb your spirit, to numb your joy, to numb your ability to stay positive and to stay focused. Because I'm here to tell you, if you can adjust to loss and adjust to it and learn to manage it, you're going to experience one of the greatest seasons of victory in your life. And as I speak that to you, I'm speaking it over myself because God knows I thought I was losing my mind some days, not because of what I lost. Let me tell you what I thought I was losing. I thought I was losing my mind because I got numb to it and I was managing it so well. The losses were coming from so many directions. I found myself managing it so well to the point where I started questioning myself like, dude, do you even care? Yeah, I care. But then this lesson reminded me, hold on, ain't nothing wrong with you. When you learn how to live through things, you grow to be able to adjust to loss. And you don't let loss change your perspective. You don't let loss change your kindness. You don't let loss change your approach, your consistency, your drive, your dedication. You don't let, if anything, loss refines your hunger. Anybody listening to the old man tonight? Is this making sense at all? Okay. So Gilead really blessed me. He said, he said, man, I went through a season where I knew what was going to happen before it happened. I know what he's talking about. You be knowing stuff gonna happen before it happened. And then when it happened, you don't even be surprised. And you just go, okay. And you just go on and you just move on. And it ain't no hard nothing. And you just move on. He said, but I had to go through that season. And then after I finished that season, God ushered me into one of the greatest seasons of my life. Why? Because I was able to adjust to the season of loss that I had to experience. All right. Here's the third thing that happens when you learn to live through it. And I'm done. I'm almost about to run over, but this is good to me. The third thing that happens when you learn to live through it is this: you find the ability to find peace in any situation. You you find the ability, excuse me, you find the ability to find peace in any situation. When you learn to live through it, you find the ability to find peace in any situation. When you learn how to live through life, peace becomes both the goal and the way. Oh, this is so good, man. Are y'all listening to the old man tonight? When you when you learn to live through it, peace becomes both the goal and the way. In other words, you go through life and your ultimate goal in life is to be in peace and or to find peace and to live your life in peace. So you always talk about finding peace. Peace, peace is the end goal, right? For most people, peace is just the end goal. Well, as long as I find peace, eventually I'm going to be okay. That's part of it. You know, you can find peace on your way. No, you can find peace at the end of your way, but the next level of finding peace is finding peace while you on your way. Man, I'm teaching tonight. I'm sorry. I'm not bragging. I'm just being honest. I'm teaching tonight. It's two levels of peace. It's peace that's the end goal, and it's peace that you find while you on your way to the end goal. And when you learn how to go through life and live through life, peace becomes both the goal and the way. See, you asking God to give you peace at the end. God trying to say, I'm trying to give you peace at the end, but I'm trying to give you peace while you on your way to getting it. Are y'all listening to me? Peace doesn't have to be the end goal. Peace can really be what you experience while you on your way to your end goal. And that's next level, right? When you learn how to let life happen and you learn how to live through life, this is next level. Next level peace says, yeah, you're going to get it, but I'm going to also give you peace while you on your way to finding what you're looking for. So peace becomes, again, I want you to record this. The next level of peace, I want you to record this. The next level of peace says this, that peace becomes both the goal and the way. It becomes both the end result and the way that you travel to get to the end result. So you walk down Peace Street to get to your residence called peace. This isn't making sense to anybody besides the old man. You walk down Peace Street to find your residence called peace. That's how it works. It becomes both the goal and the way. That's next level of going through it, y'all. And some of y'all just think peace is just this utopia that you find at the end, that you experience at the end. You only experience it when life is over. You only experience when the trial is over. You only experience it when the test is over. No, the kind of peace that is beyond your own understanding is not just the peace you get at the end. It becomes a beyond your own understanding when you can experience it while you on the same road and going through the same storm you going through. What makes peace beyond understanding so powerful is that he allows you to experience it at times where you should not be experiencing it. That's what makes peace greater than your own understanding. This is so good to me. Is this making sense to anybody? Making sense? Right? So when you learn how to live through life, you find the ability to find peace in any situation. Like it just don't bother you. And and this calm, this joy that you have, straight up, I get what the older saints used to say. Then you'll be able to say, this joy I got, the world didn't give me. The world can't take it away. This peace I have, the world didn't give it. The world can't take it away. This love I have, the world didn't give it. The world can't take it away. This clear mind that I have, the world didn't give it. The world didn't take it away. Why? Because you didn't have to wait till the end or to the blessing to get it. You were able to find it on your road to receiving what you were looking for. Is this making sense? That's what God does. So again, 3 things that happens when you learn how to live through it. You grow to become comfortable in storms. 1. 2, you grow to be able to adjust to loss. 2, 3, you find the ability to find peace in any situation. These things always happen when you learn how to live through it. This bless anybody tonight? Huh? I told y'all, this is a powerful 45, 50 minutes. Did this bless anybody tonight? I try to tell you, Tuesdays be off the hook, man. Like Y'all got to nudge these Sunday morning folks and tell them to get on the line. This bless anybody tonight. If it did, fill it up with hearts. Um, this was a powerful lesson. And again, it was just a way that I saw Matthew 8, 26 through 27 in a totally different way. I'd never seen Jesus as the person who could sleep, not because he was the healer, but because he had experience. Just, bruh, like when you have had experience, you gonna snore. Yeah, things might still be crazy. Yeah, your bills might still have to be paid. Yeah, things might be going topsy-turvy in your life. That's absolutely true. But when you've experienced and been there before, it's easy to adjust and get comfortable in the storm. When you've experienced loss, it's easy for you to be able to adjust to loss when it happens to you. Why? Because you've been there. You know what it looks like. When you have gone through a storm or a difficult situation, it's easy for you to find peace when things are chaotic around you. And so let's let this lesson be a very important, valuable lesson for us tonight. All right. I hope it was a blessing to you. Now, quickly, need you to type your prayer request in the comments quickly. Hurry, because I've run over. I did not mean to run over time tonight. It always happens. But I make no apologies, man. This was a powerful lesson. I'm going back to watch this one again because this was good, man. God was really kind to us tonight. You got a prayer request? I want you to type it in the comments quickly. Every morning, 4:30 in the morning, I get up, I pray over your prayer requests. Even on Wednesdays. Wednesday's my off day with working out. This regimen that I do has me on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays. I'm sorry, Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays. So Wednesday's a day off, Sunday's a day off. But I still get up on Wednesdays. I pray over your prayer requests. First thing I do is I get up, I pray, and I pray over your prayer requests. Before then, I get up, I go ahead and meditate. I'll go walk a couple of miles, do things like that. So I'm going to be up in the morning. I'm going to be praying for you this week. And so I want you to type in your prayer request quickly. You got a prayer request, something you want me to pray for this week, put it in the comments tonight. And maybe you've got a prayer request, something that we cannot see live and on the air. You can email your prayer request to info@rehabcc.org. That's info@rehabcc.org. Email your prayer request there. We can see your prayer request. We're going to pray with you. We're going to pray for you, and that God will continue to answer your prayers as only He can. But I'm going to give you 20 seconds quickly. Hurry, y'all. I got 8 o'clock. I've run way over time. I did not mean to do this, but I really need y'all to share this video with somebody tonight. Somebody needs to go back and watch this. This is, again, another one in my DJ Khaled voice. Another one. This was a powerful one. And I want you to share this video. Come on, quickly. Put your prayer request in the comment. I want you to know I'm praying for you. I'm praying for your family. I'm praying for your situation, your health, your well-being, everything concerning you, that God will continue to strengthen you, touch you, and make ways for you and your family like never before. Listen, when you type your prayer request, connect your hands like this as a sign, as a symbol of faith, touching and agreeing with me. Amen. As a sign, of symbol of faith, that God might continue to strengthen you, touch you, and bless everything concerning you tonight. Come on, connect your hands like this as a sign, of symbol of faith. Let's pray. Let's touch and agree. Let's do it. Father, in Jesus' name, I thank you tonight for your word. Thank you for this time of gathering you've given us. I pray that something was said in this word tonight that has encouraged somebody, that has empowered somebody in a tremendous way. Right now, somebody under the sound of my voice, whether watching live or the replay, has been wondering why they should go through the things that they experience in their lives, has been wondering why they should go through storms instead of avoiding storms. It is my prayer tonight, God, that this word has brought some clarity to somebody about why we must all learn how to live through it. Help us, God, not to run from storms, not to run from difficulties, not to run from hard times, not to run from tough moments. Help us to learn how to live through moments so that at the end of the day, we can be everything you have called and designed us to be and more. I pray this prayer, God, right now for every prayer request that's been typed in the comments, every prayer request that's been sent to our inbox, every prayer request that is so powerful and personal that it's even unspoken tonight. Somebody doesn't even have the strength or the courage to send in their prayer request. God, read the scripts of their heart tonight. And I ask now that you would not only read the desires and scripts of their heart, that you would answer their prayers, that you would make ways, that you would give them the desires of their heart as you draw them closer to you. I thank you, God, because I know that this week is going to be a week filled with miracles. I know this week is going to be a week filled with breakthrough. I know this week is going to be a week filled with overflow and new promises as only you can deliver. We thank you, God, because we know you're not only going to bless us, but you're going to do exceedingly and abundantly above all that we can ask or think, according to the power that lives inside of us. And tonight, God, we're grateful that you are that power. And because you are that power, we know that there is absolutely no chance in hell that we can be defeated. We thank you, God, for this. And we count this week as a week filled with victory. In Jesus' name, amen. Do me a favor. If you prayed this prayer of faith, I want you to type in the comments quickly. It is so. Quickly. It is so. It is so. Yes, I'm praying for you. Those of you that are praying for your families, new homes, new jobs, new careers, healing in your body. I'm praying for you. Just type in the comments quickly. It is so. It is so. God's answering prayers. God's making ways. God's opening doors. God's meeting needs. He's making ways out of no way tonight. And I truly believe he's going to do it the entire week. And we are going to trust him. Even if it doesn't make sense to us, even if we don't like where we are, we're going to trust him because we know he's going to make everything possible. Quickly, I want to challenge you to give. If this message ministry has been a blessing to you, I want to challenge you to give. Give your tithes, sow your seed tonight. You can give via CashApp, $REHABCCGIVE. You can give through our website, www.rehabcc.org, and simply choose online giving. Or you can text REHABWORKS to 336-642-3210. That's 336-642-3210. Again, you can give via Cash App, $REHABCCGIVE. That's $REHABCCGIVE. You can give through our website, www.rehabcc.org, and simply choose online giving. Or you can text REHABWORKS to 336-642-3210. That's REHABWORKS to 336-642-3210. And you will receive a give right from your cell phone. And we know that God is going to bless you. Down, shaking together and running over. Listen, y'all, I'm way out. I'm not sorry that I ran over. If you missed tonight, you might want to go back and watch the replay, because in my DJ Khaled voice, God blessed us with another one. I need you to go back and watch the replay and do me a favor. Make plans to meet me this Sunday right here at the Rehab Christian Center, 9:08 Eastern Standard Time, for another very powerful word that's going to make you think and make you praise at the same time. And I'm so excited that you've joined us tonight. So excited that you've watched this replay, and even more excited that you're going to meet us this Sunday. Listen, y'all, I love y'all. I'm praying for y'all. I'm rooting for y'all. Ain't nothing you can do about it. And I want you to have an amazing week this week. I know I am. And can't wait to see you on Sunday. All right. Love you. Praying for you. Rooting for you. Have a fantastic week. Peace and blessings.
For watching the Rehab Christian Center live experience. If this broadcast has been a blessing to you and you would like to be a blessing to our leader, Dr. Zeb Talley III, you can sow a seed into his ministry by Cash App at $Pastor ZT3. It is our prayer that this message of hope encourage, enlighten, and empower you to be better. Please tune in Sunday at 9:08 a.m. for our Sunday morning experience. And as always, be blessed and have a wonderful week.